Okay, this is a demo for your second project. Um, what we're going to do for this second project is use one of the first software environments that we'll be working with. You can choose to either do this project in Adobe Illustrator or Inkscape. Both of these are, well, not both of them, but Inkscape is a freeware software, but both of these are vector software environments. They're similar to Microsoft Word in that it's an object-oriented environment, and you're just going to be basically pulling various objects in here just like you did in Word, but then giving those objects different properties, colors, transparencies, sizes, and stuff like that. It's just an introductory project for the vector environment to just give you practice at working with these objects. What you're going to do with this project technically is you need to choose from our vocabulary list 15 to 20 vocabulary words to make a vocabulary montage. Your graphic will need to include the vocabulary word and also its definition. So any 15 to 20 words from our vocabulary list will be perfectly fine. Before you actually begin the project, I want everyone to complete a sketch. You know, look at the vocabulary words that you want to work with, and just on an 8x11 sheet of paper, just do a rough sketch of where you're going to position those vocabulary words and their definitions in the composition that you do. This is just going to be like a roadmap to how you put together your project. If you like, you don't have to put the entire definition or write it out. You can just put a box, a rectangular box or square box that represents where you're going to position that. It's going to be okay if these word art elements overlap one another, if you use a variety of different font sizes, if you use a variety of different types of fonts. But, you know, the only true criteria is just be sure we want to see 15 to 20 of these vocabulary words in there. I'm going to do this demo in Inkscape. Again, Inkscape can be downloaded from online. I like to get my freeware stuff from good, reputable, malware-free sites and stuff like that. I'd suggest for downloading Inkscape and also a later software, we'll be using GIMP from a website called Ninite, and it's a website that helps you to install and keep your files updated, and you don't have to bother with all the different download mirrors and stuff like that where softwares tend to be. So let's just go ahead and open Inkscape. And here it is. It's open. This is how the open software looks. And you know, it's very similar to most software environments that you see. You're going to see the ribbon of controls up here at the top, but then you're also going to see icons for some of the different tools that you have inside the software. But the primary tool probably that you're going to work with for this one is going to be your text tool, and it's represented here by the T. But if you also would like to manually, calligraphically write out your vocabulary words, I suggest you try that too. You'll find that once you create objects, they do need to be grouped, so you're not dealing with quite so many objects. But just to get going, what I'll do is, let's say I'll look at a vocabulary word. And we see, like, for example, if I'm going to work with the vocabulary word warm colors, I'm just going to right-click and copy that. Well, let me try to copy without formatting. Oh, well, it won't do it. So I'll just copy it. Well, it doesn't want to do it. Let's see, Control-C. Doesn't want to do it either. So warm colors. Well, at the very least, I'll just write out the word, and we get this dialog box here that lets us pick the font, and it gives us a great preview of what that font's going to look like. You can go ahead and choose the size of it. You can choose to do your vocabulary elements horizontally, vertically, if you want to try some different things like that. But for right now, I'm just going to work with where is my text dialog? There we go. Okay, I've got the little crosshairs there. That's going to let me pick where I want to start typing. Also, if I hit on my keyboard my plus key, that will zoom me in, and my minus key will zoom me out. So I'm going to click, and I have no idea what that's doing. That's the wrong tool. Okay, I was using a very wrong tool. That's the difference. Okay, we need this tool right here. Okay, there we go. All right. So there's one of my text objects, and again, these objects we can scale and give different sizes, but we've got to put 15 objects in here, or to 20 objects. So we're going to need lots of room. And that reminds me of something I didn't do. I didn't set my document size to 8 by 11. So I'm going to go over to File, Document Properties, and you know, I've got a preset size for letter size, 8 by 11 there. So I'm going to choose that. If I wanted to, I could switch from portrait or landscape. I'm going to switch to landscape. The graphics that we're going to create for this class primarily are going to be on the web, you know, on computers, desktop computers. So landscape style graphics tend to just showcase better. So I'm going to do that, and then there's no really select or anything here, so I can close that, and it's already readjusted everything for me. If I wanted another color, you know, on that selected active object, I could just choose another color, you know, pretty easily. And again, I'm not sure why I'm not able to copy directly from here. So something I can do to fix that is see if I can download this file. I'm going to download this to the computer, and once it's on the computer I can open it up, and that of course will open up in Acrobat Pro, and I should be able to do a and I'll just choose another word. Let's just go with SVG. I want to show you ways to deal with having these very long vocabulary words. You're probably going to need to figure out some sort of grid system, how you are going to locate these elements within your graphic. So that's one object. Let's see. So I'm going to click here and then Control V to paste. And what I want to do, my vocabulary word, I want you guys to keep your vocabulary word and the definition separate from one another. So I'm going to select my vocabulary word and Control X to cut it. Then I'm going to get out of there and go back again, Control V to paste. And one of your first jobs in terms of this project is really to get all of your elements in here. Then you can start worrying about positioning them. You can start worrying about coloring them. For this one here, let's go back to the tool I went to before. It's easiest, I think, to try to make adjustments to that object here. And again, I can do things with the layout of it. Center adjusted, left justified, right justified. You can do stuff like that. Also, in this dialog box here, it's going to allow me to change to a different font. So I'm going to apply that now, and that's too small. So let's, and style is going to matter. You know, of course, with all this variability, with you guys able to use different types of fonts, you know, there are going to be many options for how this looks. But that's one of the working processes for this this project. But again, the main criteria is the graphic that you create needs to have 15 to 20 elements in it. Some of the different things you can do with the elements. If I click on this selected object again, I get a different set of control nodules on it. And with those, I could change the orientation of this, go away like that. Another way that you can try to work with objects in here is to put objects on a path. And this is a little bit of an advanced technique, but if I use the freehand tool here and I draw a path is really a line, you know, in this software environment. What I can do is take a text object, and then if I hold down Shift and select a secondary object, then let's see if I can get to it by right-clicking. No, I can't get to it by right-clicking, but if I go up to my text controls, I see the option to put a text element on a path, and that places that object on that path, and that gives it a little bit more style. You know, it might work better with a short vocabulary word to actually put it on a path. One of the problems with doing it is look at the line that we drew. You know, we wouldn't want that to be visible. So the way that I would get rid of that is select that single line. Whoa, I didn't mean to close the software. I meant to close this box here. Is actually turn that line white. Let's see if I can send that object to the back also. Okay, where are my color controls? Oh, here they are. They're hiding down here at the bottom. Right now, this object has a stroke color of black, and what I want to do is just turn that to white, or turn it off by hitting the X here, and I'll move this box so, well, I can't move it. I'll just hit that X, and that's going to turn that stroke color off, and that way that line disappears. But that's it in a nutshell. You know, as you're working out of Inkscape, you need to save your working document as an SVG file. SVG is the acronym for Scalable Vector Graphic. Inkscape gives you the ability to save as either a default Inkscape document, a native file type. Don't save it as that one. Save it as a plain SVG. That plain SVG file, if need be, can be opened in Adobe Illustrator for some of your later projects. But that's the file type you'll need to save your working document in. And of course, on the daily basis, as you work on these projects, I do want you to save it to the project thread on Blackboard. Do you have any questions you can think of about any of that? It is pretty cut and dry. You know, the number one thing about it first is to get all your elements in there, and then you can begin to worry about the composition, how to arrange them. But thanks very much.